As always, in our notes, we start off titling it with the date. Today is 9/2/25. It's Tuesday. And the title is Distance Formula Day 1. I will do my best before I post these to actually go back in and type out the words that I use and the vocabulary that I use. That way you're not having to read my chicken scratch. In our warm-up today, we talked really about finding the x and y values of points. That is a big piece of the distance formula. The other big piece is knowing the ability to substitute, or having the ability to substitute. Substitution looks like, get that off. Substitution. If I told you that a equals 7, and then I had this expression that said a plus 3 equals, and I didn't know, I could substitute what a equals right here to say 7 plus 3 equals, and now I can solve that and say 10. That is the act of substitution. Girls, y'all really love it already so much? Okay. Let's talk about distance. Distance. And yeah, again, my handwriting's rough. Distance is the length of a path between two points. Distance is the length of a path between 2 points. This is a vocabulary word. Coordinate is a vocabulary word. It's the number that corresponds to a point on a number line or grid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, that's it. All right, boss. For those that just walked back in from testing or working on our notes, we're not that far into it, so just skip down about a quarter of the page and jump in with us, and I will post these notes in a little bit in Google Classroom where y'all will end up at. Okay. We need to make a note here. This is Mr. Schultz asterisk. Every point on a grid has a x value and a y value. Every point on a grid has an x value and a y value. So then the distance formula is you're going to see me use d to represent distance equals. And then that symbol, if you don't remember, is the square root symbol. Square root, so distance equals the square root of x1. Whoa, Mr. Show, it's x2. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. What you need? Then draw me a box. It does not have to be perfect. Now, somebody give me a number 1 through 10, negative or positive. 7. Give me another number. 6. Surprised y'all didn't say 6, 7. Okay, give me another number that's 1 through 10 or 0 through 10, negative or positive. Negative 7. And another number? Negative 8. Okay. The box helps us see it very specific. And you may want to use the box method in this regards. I don't always do it this way, but it may visually help you see it. What we have here is we have a point that is 7, 6, and a point that is negative 7. 2 points here. They have a distance between them, and I could find that distance by using the distance formula. The other way that I use, or the other way that I identify my x values and my y values is simply just to write underneath it or on top of the points x1, y1, because that's from point number 1, then x2, y2, because that's from point number 2. Once you know that, now all you have to do is substitute into the equation. Now, what does help me is to highlight sometimes. My x1 value I've highlighted in blue. So into my formula, I'm going to highlight blue where the x1 goes. My y1, I'm highlighting here as, as yellow. So in my formula, I'm going to highlight it yellow. x2, I'm going to highlight as green. In the formula, green. And then lastly here, my y2, I'm going to highlight in pink. And at this point, it's all about substituting. Okay, if you want to get out your highlighters, which I hear a lot of you doing, I think that's great. I will post these with the color notes in Google Classroom as always. So the distance formula between these 2 points could be written as negative 7 minus 7 squared plus negative 8 minus 6 squared. Now today we're not going to actually solve for the actual distance. We're just setting up the formulas. I want to give you guys practice on how to set up these formulas. Give me a number 1 through 20, negative or positive. 6. Give me another number 1 through 20, negative or positive. I heard 12. Give me another number 1 through 20. 1 through 20? 16. Negative number 1 through 20. I think I heard 10, negative 10. I can take the information that I know now. What is my x1 value? What's my y1 value? What's my x2 value? And my y2? Okay. I've got the parts that I need to build the formula. Distance equals the square root of x2, which is 16, minus x1, which is 6, squared, plus y2, which is negative 10, minus 12, squared. A couple of things I have not said in my other classes that I want to make sure that you know is the formula includes the square root symbol. It must be there. If you just wrote the parentheses without the square root symbol, it would be counted wrong. The formula includes the square root symbol. Okay? I'm going to do one more with you. I'm going to say negative 12, negative 20. And let's do 7, negative 13. Okay? Very similar to what we've already been doing. My x1 value is negative 12. My y1 value is negative 20. My x2 value is 7. And my y2 value is negative 13. The distance formula is x2, which is 7, minus, and this is where I want you to pay attention, how I write my negative number here when it comes second. I'm going to put it in a new parentheses and then close the first one. So 7 minus parentheses negative 12, close parentheses, squared, plus y2. Notice that I did not put that first negative number in a parentheses, minus negative 20. And I'm highlighting this because I want to make sure that when I go to actually solve this formula, that I know that those are negative numbers there. I want to make sure that I know that those are negative. Sometimes my handwriting gets sloppy and I'll write 7. What? Okay, sometimes I'll get sloppy. And then when I go to solve this, I'm like, oh, is that 7 minus negative 12 or is that 7 minus 12? And I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be correct, which is why I write it 7 minus parentheses negative 12 squared. Okay? The last thing I'm going to show you is let's look at this problem. It does not matter which point comes as number 1 and which one comes as number 2. It doesn't matter the order. As long as you write them correctly as the actual points, it won't matter how it mathematically solves. So my brain, what I mean by this, my brain reads left to right. If that's the case, this is point number 1 and this is point number 2. Some of you may see it from top to bottom. And if that was the case, this is number 1 and this is number 2. It doesn't matter which one is which. What matters is that I write my points correctly. I read left to right. So I'm going to say this is number 1. And what is that point for number 1? 0, negative 2. Every point on a grid has an x and a y value. And then what is this second point? 2, 2. So then when I go to write my distance formula, I have everything I need. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay? That's all I have for you as notes.